going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Black RVers Podcast. I'm here with Fox and Miles and also special guests again today. So thank you guys again for joining us. Yeah. And thank you for all of our viewers, listeners, and stuff out there. Hope you enjoyed this conversation. Yay. So Fox is going to kick off the questions.
Sounds good.
Go ahead.
All right. So first, starting off, who is Corbin and Amina? Who are you all? And am I pronouncing you all's names right?
No, yes, fine.
You are. Okay.
Yeah, you're good. All right. So, who is Corbin? Let's see. I'm a 29-year-old. I reside on the East Coast, Maryland. Maryland's my hometown. Grew up in So I actually grew up in closer to like around Baltimore County. And so growing up for me, I was fortunate to have a family who kind of was able to take me out to the campgrounds kind of young. And I got around the whole RV thing when we went there. I was about 3 to a span of 9, and we would go to the campground in the summer every year. But I kind of became attached to the outdoors. And I like the outdoors. I love art. I love doing art in my spare time too. I guess you could say we're just both adventurous. We kind of met in the middle of it. I had that interest, and then kind of seeing her reaction to it, and then kind of having to gravitate towards it a little bit later on. So I guess there's so many things to say. That's the way to sum it up. So
yeah. That was a nice segue into who's Amina, I guess. So yeah, I'm also 29. I'm originally from Maryland, born and raised. Just the opposite of Corbin, where he was exposed to kind of like the, camp life and everything. I didn't have that. But I've always been kind of a person that is open to new things and trying new things. And I've always kind of gravitated to nature, and I always like water, and, so that's just how we met. He had this idea to, let's live in a van. I said, okay, let's go for it.
Wow.
4 years ago now, but we forgot 2 more introductions.
Oh, yes. How can we forget?
We had 2 more.
Come here, baby.
We had to get our dogs.
They're also van lifers.
Yeah.
Oh, cutie.
This is Goldie. He's been with us from the beginning.
Okay.
And we adopted him, and that's her sister's dog. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
They're cute.
Yeah, we kind of named them after the colors. So
yeah.
It's black man, and Goldie. So
it works.
Straightforward.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So how did you all meet? Like, are you both from like the Baltimore County area, or?
So I'm originally from PG County.
Hey.
Yeah.
PG County.
Yeah.
And he's from like Baltimore County, the Windsor area.
Mm-hmm.
We met online. It was just a casual thing. We were just trying to get to know people and just have mutual conversations, whether it was friendship or anything like that, and just kind of connected that way. And since then,
we didn't think it would go anywhere, and we end up being with each other now. It's been 5 years.
5 years.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful surprise. Isn't that funny how you'd be like, oh, we're just, we're cool. We're just friends, and surprise. Now y'all together.
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned before about how, I guess, Corbin, you just introduced van life, like, oh, let's just do it. So how did you even come?
Here's where it gets interesting because, we pretty much moved in together. We met each other. We were kind of like, okay, let's wait a while to move in together. We got the apartment, and then we got on a lease. After the first year? After the first year of meeting. So yeah, we got on the lease. We got into the apartment. I mean, it was okay. We had a good time. We were traveling on planes, but not too far out, right?
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, we want to kind of get more time to travel. The rent here is it's raising up to a ridiculous amount
every year.
Yeah.
Given the area, that we're in, it just kept getting higher and higher. So we came across a lot of videos on stuff. That's when a lot of the van life videos kind of become increasing. On YouTube, found these van life videos. We saw Expedition Happiness on Netflix. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these documentaries and videos that keep coming up. So then, we after a night or two, we would watch one, go to bed, and the next day, after like 3 nights, we were like, okay, we're definitely gonna be on board. And, we did a lot of research into finding like which one would be the right fit. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to get an RV at first. We were gonna get like a bus, right? We wanted to get something like a shuttle, and get it out.
I think so just to piggyback off of what he said, like we were living in the apartment, and just the idea of being tied down to a place that you were never gonna own. We were working just to come home and pay rent. It became tiring for us, and we were drained from it. We were like, okay, we're young, we want to travel, we want to enjoy our money, we want to enjoy our lives, and we will never get to do that in this apartment.
Yeah.
So he came to me with the idea after we were watching research on YouTube. And, it took me a while because I grew up in an African household, and you don't hear about that stuff.
Right.
We'll get to that. Parents' reaction.
It's like, Ben what? Ben, not my daughter, So he came to me with the idea, and it took some convincing because we started watching videos. And I saw just how free everyone looked and how happy they looked, and obviously reality, there's ups and downs to van life.
Of course.
But I really thought that, wow, this is the lifestyle. Like where you live, your address can be in front of a lake house one day. Your address can be in front of a beach one day. It's wherever you decide to go, and you're not tied down to rent or the superficial of owning this thing that's never going to be over.
Yeah.
So we were able to purchase the RV. We looked at a ton. We probably didn't look as much. We were like really excited, but we were done with
rent.
Yeah, we were going.
I feel you.
On the second RV we looked at, right?
Yeah, we did. Fleetwood Tioga.
Yeah, I think you guys have a newer Tioga. You were riding a newer model Tioga, I think.
We're in Thor Majestic, so I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Thor Majestic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. And then we stumbled on the second one we saw on Craigslist. The first one, the guy wasn't trying to budge on the price or whatever, so we kind of got to get For the second one, we said, okay, the RV makes sense for what we want, right?
Yeah.
And then she said, I wanted a shower. She likes the whole sink idea, having the water run out, run through.
Transitioning to the apartment.
Yeah.
For sure.
So while we were in the apartment on the lease for a while, we parked the RV in the complex. We still had it, and this gave us a little bit of buffer time to decide, like, okay,
do we really want to do this?
Yeah. So I was working on it while I was at the apartment when I had time off from work. I was kind of going to the back. So nobody I think noticed it. It was just sitting in the back. It didn't get any parking ticket. It just
wow.
It just sat in the back. So
and
we worked on it.
It was kind of like fate for us too, because the asking price, we had just that amount saved up, ready to. So we were like, okay, this must be a go.
Yeah. That's perfect.
So it was an adjustment because we after the lease ended, we're like, oh wow, this is it. Like we're not re-signing the lease. We're moving in, and we moved all the stuff from the apartment into the RV. I had to fix a couple things. It was used, so I had to fix the water pump, service the generator, stuff like that. Kind of helped me learn more. I see now how it kind of like was one of the stages where it just helped me handy wise. But
for you guys can relate to that.
For
sure.
So then the summer, that we were like doing trips locally down south. We went down to Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. We did a beautiful national park called Pisgah.
Pisgah,
have
you guys ever been to Pisgah?
No.
That sounds pretty.
Where is it?
Yeah, you were just down in North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
You may have passed through it depending on what part you were.
Yeah, it's very beautiful.
What part of it was like? It was close to the bottom of North Carolina, like south of North Carolina. But it was a nice, huge park. But anyway, I think that to sum it up, we did 2 years in the Tioga. We went into the conversion van. We said, okay, the Tioga needed a little bit of work.
Okay.
And we realized that later when we drove it, the person probably didn't take the best care of it.
Oh, sure.
Some mishaps happened here and there. We nicked some stuff. We were like, wow, we need to do RV.
We can leave that part
Right.
Listen, we've done it too.
Right.
We've hit some things.
Just slide that in there. Make some stuff.
The blind spots. Yeah, the blind spots are bad in it sometimes. We and our backup camera stopped working for a while too. So
dang.
So then, so that happened, and we had a little bit of water damage. That kind of led us to where we sold that. We were like, so like we sold that, and then we said, okay, let's do the van life. We went to find like this nice, perfect conversion van. We went and got this conversion van. It's an Econoline Explorer E150. And then we got that, and we actually kind of renovated it. We kind of put like a fridge in there. We got a cook stove in there. Took the seats out, and then we went that route for a while, right?
Yeah.
So
like how many months?
Oh yeah, you're right. How many months? It was kind of short.
Oh no! What happened?
Why? Because then that's kind of when the COVID hit. And COVID happened while we had the plan to renovate, which led us into getting an RV because we were like, we might not have enough time to get all this stuff, and everything's kind of shut down. So, and it kind of stopped a lot of our process and trying to renovate it. Plus, we were like, hey, we could probably use a bigger space again. We kind of missed the bigger space, right?
Yeah, we did.
Well,
I know I did.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so to sum it up, this is what we landed in now. We're in a 2002 Travel Supreme. It's actually a 40-foot.
Wow.
Pusher. Yeah. And I never thought we wanted to go big, but, so we ended up getting big. And I thought, it's actually, we got used to it, actually. It's actually not that bad. But that's really how we summed it up. We ran into problems with COVID. We couldn't take shower. We were like, oh man, we can go to a friend's spot, take a shower. We're like, we're like, how are we gonna get materials from like the stores? Like IKEA shut down.
Yeah.
So it was really
COVID
like
was rough on van lifers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
How did you all transition from? Did you all have to sell the van, or was it how did you all transition from the van to the RV?
So with the van, like he said, with the Tioga, we started having damages, like water damages. So we're like, okay, we can't live here anymore.
Yeah.
And so that and decided to downgrade. We said, okay, let's do actual van life. Let's get into a van and see how it feels.
Yeah.
But this was before COVID, when the showers, the gym used to live for showers, and it was working and open. So we lived in the van for some time. We went to where did we get the van?
Oh, we went actually to down south to North Carolina. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of our nice spots.
It's the mecca for conversion.
Yeah, they have a lot.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we lived in that for some time, but with COVID hitting, it was very hard for us to take showers. We found ourselves going to like friends and family's houses. So it's okay, like if another pandemic hits, how are we gonna be able to be self-sufficient? We're like away from our friends, So maybe we have to, get something that has a shower again. So we ended up selling the van. We're gonna sell the van.
Yeah, we're in the process of selling it.
Okay,
cool.
We have to fix it up a little bit and then try to sell it. So we don't want to give anybody something not working properly.
So we're gonna sell the van, but we ended up getting this instead. And I love it. I was a little bit intimidated by it, the size of it. I haven't driven anything bigger than the Tioga. So Corbin does most of the driving.
Yeah, I mean, just getting into like the trial and error of RV life. I know seeing your page, Adventures of Fox and Miles. You guys are sometimes like you were tired, you would run into issues with the electrical or plumbing. Like there's like a lot of things that can go wrong, but just like so many things that we've learned from these experiences. It's just like it's like priceless. Like I mean, we've blown on the Tioga alone. We've blown like 4 tires.
Oh wow!
Because I'm too close to the curb.
Okay.
I ran over glass.
Oh, can you guys relate? I saw that.
Yeah. So, I mean, like we had, we just finding out where to park too.
Yeah.
I know, like full timers, you don't want to get a knock on the door.
Right.
Yeah, no.
We don't like to stay in parking lots too long. If you could find, of course, a campground would be great, but that'll add up after some time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Find public roads that are kind of like secluded. That'd be nice. That's nice too.
Yeah.
I mean, just like the trial and error.
Yeah,
man.
Share.
I mean, the generator going out, losing power. It's just like, oh man.
Yeah. That's definitely happened to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And so now I think it was
and
like,
also just dealing with the seasons too. Like
oh yeah.
When we initially got the Tioga, we were figuring out how to work everything.
Yeah.
We had a what was it? Mosquito infestation at one point.
Yeah, in the summertime.
Yeah. We were parking next to like lakes and swamps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta kind of open windows sometimes.
I remember I had a moment where I was like, Corbin, I'm over this. Like,
but in the beginning it was hard for Amina to kind of like get onto it. For both of us, it was like, wow, like we're doing it. But for her, it was like, wow, like I want to make sure the water's running all the time.
Yeah.
She wasn't used to just having 50 gallons of water running out.
Yeah.
So it's like stuff like that.
Yeah, van life is challenging. But
it's
yourself as being a female also, we have to go through our, different things. We need keep up with our hygiene.
Absolutely.
So it was just kind of It was a transition. So
because in the summer times we would spend summers and cold winters over here on the East Coast.
Okay.
Just in RV, we would do it really just full time. So like in the summer it's hot, and if you want to get cool, you gotta run the AC on the roof.
Yeah.
Or if you don't want to use gas, get fans or something.
Yeah.
And then you gotta keep away from the bugs. But in the wintertime you gotta deal with maybe the cold and then the water freezing. And we were trying to make sure that we kept the water heater on. And we don't have like the fancy Arctic tank, whatever Arctic.
Yeah. We don't.
We ain't that fancy.
We aren't.
Yeah, we just had to keep the furnace on next to the water heater like all the time, and double up on blankets.
Yes.
That's the stuff that happened. And then plus like the challenge with the animals that we had too. They've been with us all the time. They've been some troopers, right? Like, yeah. So it's just like he's been here like, man, like the whole time. Our first dog, Goldie, the gold one, he's been having a great time. He likes to run out in the fields when we have time.
That's cool.
I mean, we get to
Have you all ever thought about getting any pets?
Nope.
No. So I want a pet.
Yeah.
I do. Where were we in Colorado? We were in Colorado. I almost bought a cat.
Yeah.
But
that's easy. Yeah.
Because they take care of themselves. They're low maintenance. But
exactly.
So how is it like taking care of dogs in the RV?
Yeah.
Like.
Okay.
Well, there's good and bad to it because in a smaller space they're not going to want to go to the bathroom, right? They're going to think that it's like, okay, it's a cage, it's one big cage.
Gotcha.
So we haven't had too many accidents unless they have an upset stomach and it's diarrhea.
Right.
And then also just the temperament of the dog. We have a Goldie who loves being outside all the time.
Right.
With us on the go and traveling and just being outside, he loves it.
Yeah.
And then we have Black, who's more of my little cuddle buddy.
Aww.
He likes to be inside, but he's adjusting because now that we've upgraded, it feels more.
They both serve purposes because the Goldie's like the guard dog. And I was like, okay, he has to kind of stay. We thought about getting rid of him. We're like, man, he's like, he can be a rascal. He's a challenge.
When you initially said, "Oh no," my mind went, "Oh, good."
And he's the guard dog. He's the guard dog. He'll keep people away, like Cujo style. So,
wow.
He's got an aggressive, loud, bark and all that. But the other one's a lot.
We love him.
Yeah.
But definitely with staying clean.
Yeah.
Remember I was talking about hygiene. Dogs shed, and in a smaller space, it's a little bit harder to keep it clean.
Right.
And not too many areas for them to kind of just have their own space.
Right.
You guys know how you know what I mean by like with like the routine of like things like what we had to catch on with was like with the RV you gotta know when to dump the black water, how when to refill, and keep an eye out for how much fresh water you have. You kind of gotta get a good sense of like okay, am I running low on propane? I use this and that.
Corbin is all that, by the way. Awesome. I don't know how much you put on.
I can relate. I understand.
I mean, we do our part too,
Absolutely.
I think that it's like I had some accidents with that dump. I know you know what I mean. The dump the level was down and I opened it.
Oh no!
Yeah, I double checked that thing so many times. Like I double check it over and over again. Like I mean, thank God that I haven't had many splash attacks. Like at one place we were staying at and I was trying to dump it like it came out too fast,
Oh.
and like the hose kind of whipped a little bit, but I just grabbed it and put it. I was like, oh nah, not today. Like,
okay. I have a quick question now. You guys mentioned Camp Smith in one of your videos. Like,
wow.
yeah.
Camp Smith.
I
She knows
also
exactly
attended
what you
Camp
mean.
Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you guys said that in one of the videos I was watching, I was like, oh my God.
Oh man.
These are true PG kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like when I used to explain to Corbin, like it was one of our when we graduated elementary school, that was our thing.
Yeah.
All of us years went to.
Yeah, so I haven't had the honor to do it. I know I wasn't in the PG areas yet.
Yeah, I never had any like background with like camping, but that was the one thing.
Yeah.
Corbin did, him and his family would go camping and like do RV, like his aunt owns an RV, so he kind of already had that. So when you guys said that, I can relate so much because I'm the one that didn't have that much experience.
Yeah.
And I think that Miles didn't have as much, but he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was very interesting hearing that. I know that we could really relate to that.
Yeah, and I guess I never really paid attention to how Camp Schmidt was like an introduction to like, you know, like camping for so many kids in the county. Like I didn't even.
We were Black children.
Yeah.
Experience a lot. So
exactly.
I'm so excited for it. You know.
Yeah.
I thought it was it. I thought I was going to see Smokey the Bear. You know. Awesome.
Now I think you said you went to campgrounds growing up too with your family, right?
Yeah, we had an RV, and so we went camping in like Florida and Georgia and places like that. Yeah.
Really? Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I think so I think that it's definitely it's a grounding experience for us to be out there and then have anything be your backyard.
Yeah.
You want to partner with bodies of water. Yeah. So like we've been able to I think it shaped us differently relationship wise, spiritually. It's also got us connected with nature. That's very important. We just had a different outlook where it's like, okay, the whole weight of the rent coming next month is kind of lifted off of us.
Yeah.
Think of different things, you know.
And not to mention, like, you know, we graduated from college. Student loan debt is real.
Girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
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 I'm sure you guys can relate.
I think they have a video about that.
Yeah.
So when a lot of people ask me, because they ask me like, okay, so why do you want to live in an RV again?
Yeah.
Like you can afford an apartment, you both are doing fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you understand the freedom it allows you, the financial freedom of just clearing yourself of so much debt.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, why not live in an RV?
Yeah.
Been on the lease, but don't want to go back. Not now. I mean, that's the thing. We could go ahead and save. She could, we could actually pay stuff off, and then actually maybe help others, family members too.
That's
That's a really good thing about it. I think.
But most important, just live your life while you're young.
Yeah.
Why wait till you're old to go RV?
Yeah.
I had an experience last summer where my grandfather transitioned. So he died. I call it.
No, we knew.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I like to say, okay, he's done. He died. He expired.
Oh,
but he died. He died what, on Juneteenth?
Yeah.
Close to Juneteenth.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What happened is, I think, what kind of like got something to click is that he died and he didn't have much to his name after that, because all the money he had saved went back to the retirement homes.
Wow.
They're charging me a ridiculous amount of like $6,000 a month or something like that.
Oh wow.
It gets expensive. Yeah. So I was like, wow, I don't know if I kind of want to end up like that. I got to kind of do something before it gets to that point. You know, I don't want to be like, okay, I want to save up for a 401k and then have it be just diminished if I get sick or something. So
I think that's one of the reasons why we connected too. When we talk about how we met, what connected us was we both kind of were not for that life of, okay, go to school, do this by this age. You know, at this age, you have this much property.
Right.
It's so. When I met Amina and when I found out how she felt like that, I'm like, wow, your family completely thinks it's the opposite. Funny part, we got to get to the parents' reaction.
Tell us.
Yeah, let us know.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I know you guys grew up in PG. You know, African families, and shout out to my Sierra Leone.
Oh yay!
That's what's up.
from Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
But, you know, they weren't down for it.
Yeah.
You know, go to school, you become that doctor, that lawyer, you own that house, you know, get that property. But it took some convincing and just opening your mind to just different things.
I mean, it's convincing for you. Like, for me, my father had to go ahead and talk to me so many times. You guys can live with us. Don't live in there. He was like, well, if I see that thing, I'm going to pop the tires. I think he's joking.
He's joking.
Well, halfway joking.
We think he's joking.
He's like, I'll make sure it doesn't run again. So, it took a lot of time for them to understand what RVing was. And they thought it was like, oh, this is just a box truck, maybe.
That's not to be political, but like, not a lot of Black people open to this or, you know, see this as a norm.
Yeah.
You know, when we first started watching videos, I saw so many white couples doing it. And, you know, I said, oh, well, where are the Black people?
I think that's still, I mean, even though, they're white, but that's still inspiring, though.
It was still inspiring.
I think that's really good, but I think I was like, well, after a while, you start wanting to see other people that may look like this. Kind of be like, wow, like that's, you know, that's awesome that they're also venturing out.
Which is how we found you guys.
I was like, wow. I mean, this is like something we had just stumbled upon, right?
Yeah.
I was searching. I was like, where are the Black couples doing this? Maybe our age. I seen maybe older ones, of course. But yeah, we had just stumbled upon it on like chance. I think it's really
the Black community, you know. Start making it. It will help so many, especially when, you know, there is such a difference in how we start off with the economy and like how the structures, you know. This would help so many.
Yeah.
You know, if they're open to that lifestyle. No, RVing for everyone.
Yeah, it's not
right.
But like, you know, the people like ask you questions a lot. When you guys would travel, I know you get stopped a lot when people stop at gas stations because there's always questions when it comes to that, right? Especially with somebody who's like people who are like, you know, Black people.
Oh, well, yeah. That's the thing. Like, people would stop. And so I remember we were at one place in Colorado, I think. And we're the only Black couple there. And we were also, I think, the only ones our age. And so when we pulled into, you know, like I'm trying to help him navigate into the spot, there was a gentleman who was walking his dog. And he literally like just stopped and stared. And so I'm like, hi, how are you?
Waving and
whatever. And he didn't say anything. And so I'm like, okay. And so, you know, like it was creepy because it was like, all right. But then at the same time, I imagine that maybe for them, they're like, oh, well, we don't really see Black people that often here. I don't know if that's true, but that's how it came off to me. And like maybe people that...
A lot of people are very curious. And I mean, 1 week ago, we were close to like, I think Pennsylvania. And I was driving kind of slow. Then the guy pulled up in front of me, right? He got out of his car, came right up to the window. And he's like, are you lost? He was friendly, but he was like, are you lost? You look like you're not from here. And I was like, yeah. So,
like, where are you from?
Okay.
The joke is like he was probably either coming to help or trying to see if it was stolen. You know, no, I'm just joking. I'm joking. But yeah, I think that he actually helped us to find a bigger parking lot to park. I was trying to find an area to park.
Okay, cool.
And then we got nothing. I don't think we had any bad experiences from people. Ultimately, right? People would just ask questions out of curiosity and help.
Yeah.
And then so back to the family story. So Amina's family wasn't really on board. My family was like, okay, we're not really surprised because I know you like doing this stuff anyway, you know. They just said, why'd you take so long to tell us?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were
That's cool.
At some time we had to fix some things. We wanted to be presentable.
Okay.
And everything working. And make sure we're all in and ready to go.
That makes sense to me. Like if you're trying to convince someone that this is like a viable option, you want to make sure that you're showing up with like all the things checked. And the thing is, though I'm not West African at all, I do have friends that are like that are from there, and a lot of them are just like it's that same trajectory, and like there is an idea of what success is. You know what I'm saying, and how to get to that success, and it's almost kind of determined for you, I guess, in a sense, like what success is. So how to this day, like, are your parents still kind of iffy about it, or are they on board now?
I think they're a little bit more accepting of it because they realize, okay, she's not going to change her mind. It's been 4 years.
Yeah.
They were banking on me, all right, quitting after like a month in or.
Yeah.
So it's just they're like, okay, this is what she want to do. As long as she's safe now. Now their concern is about safety.
Right.
You know, we are technically living wherever we, at our whim. But I kind of try to rationalize it this way. In a house, are you really safe?
Exactly.
That can get broken into.
Yeah.
Any given day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously, we're in and out of parking lots, we're more open to the public, but at any given point, you can be unsafe where you are in your home.
Yeah.
Your own home. Hear that all the time. You get around in your home.
Hence why the dogs kind of come into play too.
True.
Yeah.
Anything in the front or anything in the back, they kind of like alert us too.
Yeah.
We haven't had any issues.
Yeah, we haven't had any.
There's been a lot of friendly people. Like everyone's been friendly and curious.
Yeah.
How about you all? How's safety on your end? And
I mean, safety's been cool. We haven't really had any issues, but like every time we see family, particularly family, some friends, they're like, "Are you gonna get something? Like you gonna get a gun? Or you're gonna find something?" So like even when we left recently from my parents' place, my parents gave us pepper spray. They're like, "All right, if we're not gonna get a gun, you gotta at least have pepper spray or like a bat or something."
We had that.
Yeah, his dad actually gave him pepper spray.
Yeah.
Now you guys traveled out pretty. You guys ventured out pretty far because you went from Maryland, I believe, all the way to Washington State at one point.
No.
Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado.
Yeah.
Not yet. We haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. I was like seeing that was like you're walking out in the middle of nowhere. Just like just looking at that video, I was like, wow, like they really cool.
Wildin'.
Very inspiring.
So
it's because that's the thing. Like growing up in PG, it's kind of like it was okay. So I went to Towson University. So when I went there, it was like culture shock for me because I think in PG County, it's like it's mostly us. It's either like Latinx or like Black or African. Like and I mean there are like some few like white people here and there, but they're down usually for the most part. Like okay, but like going to Towson, like so. That was like the to me it's a privilege to be able to grow here because I'm seeing every kind of Black person, every kind of like the entrepreneur, the worker, like the blue collar worker, like all this type of stuff. But then going out there in the world, I think sometimes that could be to my detriment. I think sometimes like because I'm not always on guard, right? It's kind of like I'm just like almost like Jamal has to remind me, you're not in PG County. You know what I'm saying? Like
we're not back home.
Let's bring this in a little bit. Sorry, say it again.
I said he reels you back in.
Oh yeah. Because to me, I'm like, oh my God, all this world, it's amazing.
Yeah, like especially when you mention like being in the middle of nowhere and stuff. Like I'm on like super high alert because I'm like, I have no idea. Somebody just randomly ran out of the woods or anything like that. Like, and again, if something happens, animals. Or animals.
Snakes can bite you. There's a lot of snakes that can come out that grass and
Right.
Snakes, cougars. Out west is a whole nother animal. Like literally, they have all that wildlife. I think that's really really cool.
Yeah, like the first day we pulled up, we saw a black bear.
Yeah, in Colorado.
Like literally, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen a bear before with my own eyes. Like
like we had just parked. And we were going to, I think, maybe Walmart or something to pick up something. And it was running away from the road. And we're like, oh, okay. I guess we'll just stay inside for the rest of the time. Yeah.
Those are like, because...
okay, we're doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that is pretty wild.
It
is. The farthest place we got, the most remote place we got was pretty much the Appalachians.
Okay, yeah.
There all the way in South Carolina. We were just traveling. At a lot of points we got kind of like lost the GPS.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, like this is kind of like barren land. So I can't imagine that. So, sometimes when the GPS comes out, kind of like I would freak out, but now I have compasses and maps and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's like just with the whole preparation of it. Like, but before I was making all kinds of mistakes. I just don't. It's like I don't know where.
Trial and error.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean. You got dinged up a bit, right?
Yeah. It happens. I mean, And that's the thing, like you said, like trial and error, like that's the only way to learn. Like, I mean, granted, there might be some books out there on like, oh, how to do this or whatever, but you don't really know until you start doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't know what works for you.
You know, for example, it's like, there's like things where it's like, if you run the coach batteries too long, you kind of get an idea now, okay, I'm not going to keep using those appliances for maybe 2 days straight without recharging the battery.
Right.
Right. Because, with this one, we have a tiny, tiny solar panel. It's not like the huge one. It's like the one that came with it in 2002. And it's kind of like outdated. It doesn't charge it as much. So we have to use a generator.
Yeah.
And I know now not to let the batteries get past 50%.
Okay.
Right. So
yeah.
I have learned like, oh man, like the hardest part was just the waste. Learning how to go ahead and deal with the waste. Clogged the toilet. We clogged the toilet in our first RV.
Oh, no. It happens. It's okay. Sorry, baby.
And I just had to kind of go in there, plunge it. Oh man, you learn not to use real toilet tissue in RV. It has to have an RV toilet tissue. Right?
Yeah.
So we had to learn that. I'm like, oh man, because like
RVs are so, even like their little mini houses, they're so temperamental and like there's so many things that you have to like be cognizant of. Like, you know, like you said, you can't use toilet paper. Like, and to me, I would have just been like, oh, let me just get some Scott, you know, dollar joints. And like, I was like, no, like we cannot do that.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
it's your home. You're constantly gonna have to do maintenance. That's what I think. You know, I thought, okay, we're gonna live in an RV. It's gonna be easier than a home. No, you just have to do maintenance.
Because to be honest, you kind of get worrisome when things break. And then she's like, I had to remind her, like, this is just standard maintenance. And sometimes with the new ones, things can go too. You don't know. There's like no list of like what part's gonna go first. It could be complete random. Yeah. You know, a complete random list. I mean.
And you're constantly moving it. Like houses are like stationary. And like with RVing stuff, it's like knocking all the time and like
falling down.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing too. We had to learn. Okay, like if this thing's hanging up here, like it may fall down. Like put stuff away. The dishes have to be in the Tupperware. Kind of like get the stuff off the counter first. You know? Like it's common sensing. Everything's gonna fall. Like you know.
And I think just learning how to like minimalize too. That was a tough part. We had to get rid of so we moved in from the apartment. We got to get rid of so much
clothes.
Stuff. But that's also like a good part of it because you realize how much things you don't need in your life. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have like a similar experience with that.
Yes. And half the stuff that's in the RV now. Sorry.
I said, was it hard getting rid of some things versus?
For me, yes, because I'm an emotional hoarder. I'm recovering, but it was difficult because I'm like, I think part of my problem was, okay, I can wear this, right? Like it's possible to wear this, it's possible to use this, but the question is, am I using it, right? Can I fit it, you know, or am I? Because I gained weight, and so the stuff that I wanted to keep, I was like, I can't fit this stuff anymore, you know. But I'm waiting for this like ideal body to be able to fit back in these things, and instead of focusing on that. Just focus on the clothes you got that you actually like to wear, that you feel good in. You know what I'm saying?
Living in the moment. I feel like being like helps you live in the moment too.
I mean, what kind of changed everything is when we actually downsized to that conversion van. And then, I mean, we got rid of a lot of stuff. We got to the essentials. Like, okay, get this, you know, okay.
It was a humbling experience.
I'm sure.
Fridge, tinier, like, you know, spices, cooking supplies. Like, I mean, maybe only 3 shoes for me. But we were doing that for a good while, right? I still love our little conversion van. I love it, but I think that was more of like the I mean, that's in the past now. You know, we got this.
He's a little sad too.
I'm not like bigger is better because I don't want to make people think like, it has to be big so that you live comfortably. I mean, it's all about where you put things, where things are placed.
And what works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's different.
We had to kind of like, we wanted to incorporate other people in it too. Like, that's another thing, right? Because we got a lot of family to come by. We've done small trips. We, you know, taking her family out to like a little campground so they could see.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Kind of opening up there. Horizon,
My sister had a baby, so she brought her baby along. Like, and they were just so comfortable. and they like fell asleep as soon as they hit the chair. Like it was a smooth ride.
Now my sister's actually talking about getting an RV.
Oh, look at you!
Right.
Because tell them how it's like, you know how like it's like, well, we don't see how you're doing that, man. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, house on wheels. And all of a sudden they like liked it because they see, okay, they've been doing it this long.
Yeah.
Like out of my family, I think I'm the one that kind of I'm open to new things, open to change. I don't agree with a lot of the social construct.
Yeah.
So when they saw me in this van, like, oh, you're living on the street. Like, what are you doing?
I think that's very brave on Amina's part because she's very, she's been able to really not like defy her parents, but kind of like show them like, okay, there's another way to life.
Now I'm opening up.
That's very brave for her.
And I feel like as more, RVers come out, in particular the, Black RVers from PG County, we can show we can show everyone else, this is, it's a dope lifestyle.
Like another important thing to bring up is like we learned a lot because before we even started RV life, we knocked on the guy's door at Walmart one time.
Oh yeah.
We had a long talk with him, but he showed us,
which I don't advise many people to do. Don't knock on random people's doors.
We didn't just want to bother him, but we had questions. We're like, man, like what's it like living in this thing? He had a big RV. He had
that can also spark our, all right, let's do this.
Yeah. 35, but then he was like, well, I homeschool my son. We're from Texas. We're passing through, but we had a lot of questions. He told us what a class A, B, and C was. Like, what class? Like, and how is a class C? Like, how's that longer than a class B? We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Right.
Like, okay. And then it makes sense because a class D is actually shorter. Class C is like somewhat longer than a class A is like 6 feet.
Yeah.
Then we're like, okay. And he just gave us the whole run around. But we talked to him for like an hour, right?
Yeah, we did.
So kind of like that convinced her like right there. But then we saw a couple who was in a school bus and knocked on their door.
Wow.
You guys are very bold.
Right.
They gave us their Instagram sticker and all that, but then I was surprised because they actually kind of showed us inside. I was
have
like,
a family, actually.
Oh, wow.
I have never gotten because I know we're a couple, you guys are also a couple. Have you guys ever gotten like the family question, like, are you going to get your family in an RV? Or,
We've gotten that question. Like, and I guess to us, it's like, I guess we'll see when that happens. But to me, like seeing other families like raising their children on the road gives me hope because I'm just like, like a lot of people feel like,
would you guys be open to doing that? I guess that's the essential question. You would? How about you?
No,
not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we're trying to have kids anytime soon anyway, as in like, I don't know, who knows? Like, who knows? But at the same time, I think for me, I'm more open to it again from seeing other people and their experience with their children. And to me, babies don't require that much space, like when they're first born. So I think the issue would be finding out like how to baby proof an RV and like, you know what I'm saying? Like making sure stuff doesn't fall on the child. Like to me, that would be stressful.
Like, I think this lifestyle there's no better time for this lifestyle to make sense because of the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
Which is it's the funniest thing because now I think more people are stopping us now. We're like, wow, like where'd you get it? We got to get one. This is probably the safest way to travel and stuff.
Yep.
People keep saying like, well, like you guys got the right idea in mind now.
Yeah.
Kind of played in with your parents had too. Maybe a little bit. They're probably like, okay, I get it. Because now everything's shut down.
First of all, shout out to mom and dad. Not
guys. We had a lot of...
No shade to you guys, mom and dad.
Well, thanks for their support now. Because I think they're both on board, both parties. I think my mom and dad is like, okay.
They've always been, his fans have always been kind of supportive.
Well, now they're really happy because we have more space to kind of possibly bring them on some trips.
True.
I know you guys went to Ashes Street. That's a real nice, beautiful horses.
We also had a nice aesthetic experience as well.
Yeah, I have tons of this footage. I'm gonna definitely get this. Pretty much get my stuff out there. I did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, well, where do I start? So he's like, well, we got to do an Instagram. I don't have pretty much Instagram or a Twitter. I just have a Facebook and a YouTube. Everybody's been on me about it. Yeah, I know. So And now
we're just in the moment of living in van life. We're like, okay.
But we want to definitely get our stuff out there. We have tons of stuff that can actually help other people.
Yeah. And I definitely get because even we have an Instagram, but I haven't been managing it like consistently, clearly, because I think our last post from like January. Yeah. But like I think it does speak to being in the moment, because while we're RVing, we don't want, and that's what what we struggle with sometimes is like, should we just enjoy the moment right now or should we record it? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it like, should we take a picture of everything? And like, I'm a photographer, so I take pictures of anything anyway. Yeah. But it's still like, should I share these things? You know what I mean? And I think being in the moment it's more important to like really, you know what I'm saying? Like be authentic and be true to yourself than try to entertain other people. Like it's nice. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's like going to a concert and having your camera.
Yeah.
And it's like everywhere you go, you're like, man, I missed this shot. I missed that shot.
Yes.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I should have done all of that.
But I say us as the viewers, we enjoy seeing.
We
do. A lot too from seeing what you guys went through.
We appreciate that.
Nobody's, sorry. Go.
No, please.
Oh, because nobody actually experiences the same thing on the road. So every individual person or couple on the road, or being van life and has their own story, and then it's like, well, I fixed that, and I did it, or I ran into this, and I did it. So, I mean, that's the whole beauty of it. Yeah. And it's good to see the diversity. Oh man, that's the other beautiful part. Like we can see more diversity, and just get everybody just together, where it's like just the no judge factor, and then just get everybody to kind of like learn more from each other.
Yeah.
Because then if everybody looks the same, you want to kind of put some sprinkles in there because you can learn more from the different backgrounds.
Absolutely.
That's an important thing right there too.
So if you don't mind me asking, what do you all do? Sorry, I know that you just said you just got out off of work, right? So you worked overnight. So what do you do? What do you all do for I guess I don't want to say a living, but how do you all manage finances on the road? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm actually a nurse.
Okay.
So I'm looking into doing more travel nursing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
perfect.
Right now, I'm working like PRN. So, with the nursing schedule, it allows me more flexibility where I don't have to work like a Monday through Friday. I can kind of do like one day out the week or 3 days out the week and then have the rest of the month off and go travel, come back. Yeah. So it's allowed me some flexibility.
So for me, what I did, so after I tried the college route, like I became a certified welder and I got, my certificate. So then I went into the fields, I went to the union, but then I went and I got into these heavy schedules, these heavy welding schedules, which are like 10-hour days, 12-hour days.
Wow.
Monday through Friday.
But it doesn't work with them.
So I said, okay, I kind of got to lessen it up. And then I went and pretty much now I have it so where I can do contracts. It could last like, a job could be like 2 weeks or more. And then I can also sprinkle in like another job, like whether Uber or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so I can just be able to have the flexibility for my own schedule. I know some people, that's okay. But I think for me, what I'm trying to do with my life, I had to kind of get out the whole 9 to 5, me to keep, being able to travel. She has a good job where they're letting her be like, take 2 weeks. And her, instead of just waiting the whole year to like take the 2 weeks vacation, she kind of get more of that within a year.
But I think we both are trying to still search for more of like at-home based type of work.
Yeah,
because that's ideal for travel.
That's why we haven't gone out too far, and then everybody's like, go to California.
But we've always have to come back to work for a while and go back out. So now we're both trying to equally look for something that we can kind of just be on the go and just keep going.
Yeah,
that's the other leap too. The first leap was getting off-grid into the RV, and then next one is like switching the jobs and saying, okay, we can find another job here, because we both have careers where we could go ahead and do that.
What is your hope with RVing? Do you hope to RV? I know that you said you don't see yourselves going back to like sticks and bricks or like apartment, like that rent, like that lifestyle anytime soon. But like, what is your hope with pursuing this lifestyle that you all are pursuing?
Your family asks that all the time.
Oh yeah.
I'll let you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I mean, I've been asked this before. So for me, like my hopes was, okay, whenever you would ask me that, maybe the first year into it, I was like, man, like I'm gonna keep, stay in it, and then maybe just get a nice one. Okay, we're able to save up and then get kind of one that was close to what we both like, and when everything was working. But now I think the hope, we want to just be able to have that money and save, and then be able to have, we both talked about having land where we could actually want to have something we could kind of like turn over.
Yeah.
And make, whether the land's heritable, kind of like do we talked about a tiny house at one point too.
Yeah.
You want to keep kind of living economically. You want to live close to nature too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you a city person? I've never.
Not really.
Yeah, because
I think we both like farm.
We like the job opportunity in the city, but we like kind of being out of it. And
Right, yeah.
we want to have a nice spot where we can get like a balance, and then be kind of like stay out in nature, but at the end of the day, not too far from everything. And I think that I don't know, RVing, I love it so much. So it's like I don't know if I could put a time limit on it. I just want to be able to save and get to that point. We can say to buy that property.
Yeah.
I think
what about you?
Just as he said, like it's the same. Eventually, we are going to get older, and with the physical limitations may stop you from being able to do RVing as much. But the goal is to do this as much as we can, see as many places as we can, try to have and really enjoy life while we can. That's my whole goal. And eventually, if I, in the process, be responsible, try to save, idolize on saving, like we don't have as much rent or tie down to a lot of things.
Yeah.
And eventually we, own land or do a tiny house like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think that we just go. We don't plan. Like you guys said, we're not looking to have kids right away. We're not looking to do anything right away. We're just kind of going as we are definitely. We are able to just go ahead and take our time. I know that I mentioned relationships too on the road. So that's important to mention too, because for us, we developed where, being away from the apartment kind of took certain stressors off, but then there's also stressors on the road too, that happen, whether, like breakdowns, where to reside, where,
it makes you resilient.
Like
I'll say that.
It can make you
really resilient.
Yeah.
Now when things break, before when things used to break off, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, don't worry.
Because I'm usually
what next?
Yeah.
Oh, that broke. Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm usually the calm one. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he has to calm me down a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, there's a part for everything.
Yeah.
I see radiators smoke up. We had overheating issues. Okay, you can fix that.
I think having knowledge
Stuff like that.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so then I think that we've learned how to. So how has it changed this relationship? Right? So that's important too to kind of help us, because that's important too. Because you see all these couples on the road doing a lot of RV life and van life, but then you gotta realize sometimes the bus life or RV life, whatever it is, kind of shake the relationship and change some things. So we kind of like, okay, so she likes her clothes. She has to have enough water and everything. Being a woman too, she may want some of those features all the time. I have to make sure I stay up on that.
Yeah.
Cleanliness is important too. Have a clean toilet.
Yes.
So even in here, I don't want to leave the seat up. So stuff like that. Like if she doesn't feel like dumping, I understand. Like that's the dirty part. That's maybe for the guy part.
Yeah.
You get that.
I dumped one time.
Yeah, so,
Ooh. I've never done it. Never.
Wow. Okay. Okay, you got alone. Okay.
I've seen and I'm like, good job.
Yeah, I think I've shown her like how it works.
Support, aren't we? We support.
Exactly. Thank you. We are important. Our roles are important.
Yeah,
support is important. Absolutely.
I think she got me on camera having a bad experience at the dump station. And where like all the kind of like the what came out spout. I forgot I had the hose actually had a blocker on it, kind of like that blocked the hose. I had to take it out first, so I left the valve open and attached it. Before I knew it, I was like, wow, there's something blocking this hose. I have to take it all the way out, unblock the hose.
He has a very bad gag reflex.
No.
I mean, I don't care. You can add that into the recording. I'm telling you, like I said, we have a lot of material.
When that came out, I was just praying. I was like, oh gosh, I pray that nothing comes out of him.
Yeah.
Listen, because if we go south, you gotta listen. That's the thing. I know how. If in my mind, I know how to do it. But like, I'm thinking like, please don't let him get sick so he can't do this. Please don't let something happen.
I think,
Those things out.
that was the only part where I'm like, oh man, like I'm not really too calm. All the other breakdowns and stuff, I could have that happen.
Yeah.
This stuff gets around my hands, I kind of freak out.
Yeah. Same.
That's a power hazard. I'm like,
yeah.
So I think
even though it came from you, you don't want to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
did it come from me? Or did
there.
It was
the previous owner? Like,
oh Lord.
Yeah. A lot of times I could reassure her like something breaks down, like okay, we just add more coolant, okay, we just get a new tire. But this dump station kind of had to reassure me. I'm on the ground choking, gagging, because I had to get all the mess up. Everything that spilled, I just had to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all better than me. Y'all better than me. But how? Sorry.
No, I said, you guys know what I mean. I know.
Oh yeah.
I saw a whole video on how he dumped that one of the parts.
Yeah.
It was up and all that.
Yeah. And that time that was the previous owner's stuff.
That's gross.
So like that. Yeah. I was like, oh no. Oh no.
Because he definitely was like, where is all this coming from? We went to Assateague Island.
Like it was a lot. And we didn't even.
That's nasty.
Yeah, it was.
I feel your pain. We feel your pain. That's hilarious.
So I know that you all were talking about how you all were affected relationally, like with one another. What more have you learned about yourselves, like individually, since RVing?
Okay. Well, I have learned like just downsizing. I've learned that I don't need so much things to make me happy. You know, I prefer simplicity now. You know, I prefer just being in nature or just traveling out. You know, being next to Corbin, traveling out. It's a great time. And, so I learned resilience, definitely. Like how I told you, I used to stress out over little things, breaking. And now I'm just like, okay, don't worry. We've been through this. We can get through this. You know, we've had worse things happen. So I think just those are the good qualities I think that I've acquired.
So like just being able to like know that like Amina, like that's my woman, or just like just people having your partner in general go along with you. I mean, she's been great because she's like compromised. We won't have to compromise. Where it was kind of like, okay, I was like, well, I had more of the vision of how it could work. She was like, okay, I can trust in him, see how it could work out. And then, having a partner who's willing to do this lifestyle too is an amazing thing. Yeah. Because everybody tells me, man, like, I know my girl wouldn't do that, or it's like, I know he probably wouldn't do that with me, but that's my dream. So sometimes that's difficult, and it has to be like, wow, like you guys are, both on board, and that's sometimes that's the rare thing. It's hard too to find someone else that's willing to go there with you and like just go with you. I think that's another thing that connected us, and I don't know if it connected you guys as well, but just having someone that we can just go. Yeah, he always says like and I do trust his judgment with a lot. He picks a lot of our locations, and when he says, okay, I think it's time for us to go, I'm like, okay, well, let's
pack up.
Because like now I kind of have like a radar, and in my head it's like I don't wait for that knock on the door or whatever it is. Like we used to be like parking in the wrong spots and like, well, hey, like you're trespassing because it's after dark. You can't be at this lake area after dark. Yeah. Learning that after some time, I'm like, okay, I'll be like, okay, we have to go from here, or then maybe the owner's going to say something about this parking lot. So different scenarios got me to where I could be like, okay. And then she can kind of trust me now. It took a while. And then it's like, but now she can say, okay, like, I think we need to go, then go. Yeah. Maybe if you need to do that, then okay, let's go ahead and fix that. And, So you want to talk about how we find parking and stuff? Like, cause there's definitely maybe some tips in that. Everybody has different ways in how they do it.
I think for the most part we do Walmart.
Yeah. We can find like Walmart's. I don't think Lowe's gives you issues.
We never tried that.
Yeah, we haven't tried Lowe's.
Yeah.
And they have Wi-Fi too.
Oh.
All right. And it's like everybody says, "Oh, you have an RV, man. You got to go to a campground and hook up to the campground." You do that, Nice. But
sometimes they can be a little. They have their limit because obviously they don't want this lifestyle to become cheaper, more convenient than living in a
Because one guy he said, what did he say? He said we only allow them to stay at the campground 15 days or less out the whole year because he said that would be cheaper than paying for rent.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're like, well, okay, just like that, and it makes complete sense.
Or else everyone would do it. That's what he's saying.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's interesting though, because in my mind, why not just take the money? But I mean, hey,
right?
Do what you.
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we stayed at a campground only like the week at the longest, and then we'll be like, okay, we'll venture out. We'll go ahead and find some free parking because, I mean, we've even though we have something that's at least like right now 40 feet, we've been able to find like a not a nice public roads that are kind of in the cut, and then nobody would bother you.
Are you guys familiar with the area of Laurel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's this lake.
It's a reservoir.
It's a reservoir.
On Harding Road.
Okay.
And you park there sometimes. But now they're a little bit more restricted on overnight parking.
Aww.
Yeah. So examples like that, like
it's like you wake up and it's like a lake house right there.
Nice.
And you're like, this is what a van life is about. You know?
Yeah.
Places, but then sometimes it's like, well, like there's a sign that says after sunset you gotta go.
Yeah.
We had an issue with that in our conversion van. Remember that time? Oh, it was like the worst because
it was easier though. That's the part of I miss about the conversion van because it's smaller. Yeah. The way with parking in odd places.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people bother you as much.
Yeah.
Well, we had an issue where there was, oh my goodness, this was around COVID. This is kind of a wild scenario because during the COVID when it just started, a lot of teens and stuff didn't get to have the graduation party.
Yeah.
So we're at this park, so then all of a sudden they just out of nowhere they just gathered. All these cars just kind of swarmed into the park, and then
the teens decided to have their own graduation party.
Oh my god!
Wow.
At the park that we happen to be parked at.
They had their own like illegal gathering because
no!
And then on top of that,
so they thought that we were a part of like the team,
right?
Like, no. We have graduated already.
Right, I'm grown.
Yeah.
On top of that, like we're like, okay, we gotta go. So then the battery died in the back.
Oh no!
They called a friend to come and help, but all the people cleared out. All the kids kind of like they said, "Man, we're scared. I can't help you, man. I can't help jumpstart your car. We gotta go." So we were like the last van in this huge lot next to this beautiful park. But then the cops came up to us and said, "You guys are trespassing with the flashlights."
Right. I hate that.
So
just to say we've been through it all. I'm sure you guys have
questioning us and all that. Yeah.
That's crazy.
We've learned.
Been through it all.
Yeah, we've learned. I know this. What do they call it? The BMO land. There's a lot of what is
BLM.
That's
Yeah.
Some of that stuff is out there.
Yeah.
They have a lot of BLM out there, but they don't have a lot of that stuff. Right? You know,
and that was the tricky part of RVing on the East Coast for us, like, which is why we went west for a lot of stuff, is because it's so compacted. Like everybody's just like kind of on top of each other. There's not that much free land.
Yeah.
And it's really expensive if you want to do like RV parks. Yeah. So it's like, but out west, it's people leave you alone. Like it's kind of like the honor system. Like you can stay there for 14 days and
It's even like normalizing it in the East Coast should be a thing, you know.
It should.
That's another thing that attracted us to your channel. Because like, wow, they're on the East Coast, they're doing it. Usually you see a lot of West Coasters, and you know that's typical California.
Yes, it is true.
There's parks out in Western Maryland. We just came from one. I wish I should have had the name in front of me, but it was there was one that was close to Cumberland, Maryland, all the way out west. There was like a nice lake. Hopefully that
nice place.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, there's stuff out there, but then there's for parks and all that. You have Greenbelt Park where you can stay the night. It's $20.
That's expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, 20. Well, we're close to the campground in Cherry Hill Park, College Park.
Yeah. I'm thinking about Cherry Hill. Cherry Hill is expensive.
Yeah. No, Cherry Hill is expensive. It's like $79 a night.
Oh my gosh! They went out the last time we checked.
Yeah, so then we did that. We did that with the van, but of course with the RV they'll charge you more.
Right.
We were like with the van, they were only going to charge us $40 a night.
You know, and even during COVID, they didn't reduce the prices. You would think because all the amenities have been shut down. They can give you a pool, nothing.
Yeah, we stayed there during COVID.
In case y'all cut this price in half.
No hot tub amenities. We're like, wow. There's like nobody in the park. We're like, okay.
So what are you charging for it exactly? And to me, like the location is not even like, come on.
That's crazy.
Oh man. I think just man, like being off grid in the COVID situation is just like so weird in general.
Have you guys, like, what have you guys struggled with?
Yeah.
With COVID? So we left. So we were in Florida in January. We couldn't find anywhere to stay for cheap or like, it was just, Florida was horrible. It was just a horrible experience for us. We found little joys in it. We actually parked in a rest stop for 2 weeks. Yeah. Like literally, like we just stayed in the rest stop for 2 weeks. Yeah. Then we came back up the East Coast. We stopped at mother's father's house, mother's house, and COVID happened. Yeah. And so we couldn't go anywhere. So we were there visiting.
Yeah, because we were planning on coming back to the DMV area to kind of like
figure out what's next.
Yeah, and sort of reset and like start
and
working.
Stay at parks.
Yeah, and we were planning on staying at parks in a couple of places. But soon as I guess February, March, that's when everything started shutting down.
Like
and
Costco.
So like our whole plan got jacked up.
Yeah. Like Costco Park in is it Costco?
I think so.
It's in PG. And it's like it's a park that we've been trying to like while we were in North Carolina call them like, hey, are you guys open? And it's like, no, it's not open. Yeah. So we didn't have anywhere to go with the RV. Yeah. So
a lot of places that were open, the state parks were saying, oh, there's too many people in here.
Right.
So it's a hazard. Because we were trying to do trying to do a trip down south, and a lot of these state parks were like, we can't allow any more people in because everybody wants to go and treat it like a vacation. They're like, well, people still need to go outside a little bit. Yeah. As long as they judge it, but I mean, it was just a weird time, but I run across other channels too. Shout out to other Black RVers like novel culture. Oh yeah. Right. Off grid with the kid. And it's like everybody has their video where it's like, okay, this is what happened. COVID happened, and I think novel culture they ended up in San Francisco at one point trying to get out. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There, they kind of had to scurry out.
Yeah. Dang. Yeah.
That place shut down for real. Everything.
Oh yeah.
That's where it kind of started. The shutdown started there. Kind of like moved across the whole country. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
It's like